some of these folks are friends of mine, some I've never met before, but I just knew that we would get this kind of turnout, and it makes me really happy to have all of you here to experience it. And let's start by introducing the cast.
One more time, come on!
All right, so first we have Deborah Wilson. And sitting in turn is Will Sasso. You know her as Miss Swan. You also know her from Getting On. My good friend and comedy goddess, I love this woman, Mo Collins. Next to her is Andrew Bowen, hilarious. He's a super nerd, by the way, too. Next to him, we have Nicole Sullivan. Another good friend, Phil Lamar. And Michael McDonald. The gorgeous Stephanie Weir. To my left, your right, is Pat Kilbane. And another good friend of mine and former acting teacher, actually, Craig Anton. And Craig was a writer on Madtv. He also performed on Madtv as well, and he will be your esteemed moderator today. And anything else I missed, Craig? No? All right.
Hey, let's hear for Holly, everybody. Holly! A year ago, she could not speak. Let's hear it for the cast one more time. That's all the time we have for you today. We'll see you at Hello World. Let's start down on the end. We want to know with just one single number how many marriages, children, and development deals you've had since Madtv. Just kidding. Let's start down there at the end, Deborah. Tell us about the pilot of Madtv.
I love you!
The pilot was really crazy, and we had to shoot that in a 4-week period. So people were coming from New York and all over after being cast. And it was a hurry up and shoot kind of a deal because there was already a sketch comedy show that Roseanne Barr had lined up and she had produced. It hadn't been aired yet, but the producers, Adam Small and Fax Barr, were trying to get this together as quickly as possible, and Fox said, okay, we'll green light the opportunity to do that. So we all came together. None of us had ever really worked together. A couple of us had known each other from New York, and it was like hurry up and shoot, hurry up and shoot, hurry up and shoot. And a lot of it was sketch pieces that weren't in a studio but were actually shot like a film. So it took quite a while to get it done. And they edited it in a 24-hour period. So they had editors around the clock to put that pilot together, and once the pilot was put together, Fox greenlit it. And Roseanne's show had already aired 1 episode. It didn't do very well in the ratings, and Madtv was ushered in, and it hit its peak. It just did exactly what it was supposed to do, which is make people laugh, be irreverent, be funny, be shocking, be silly, and it did exactly that for a number of years.
Thank you, Deborah. Well, let's go to you. When did you join the show? What's your favorite memory of the show?
Oh man, I joined in season 3, and I would have to say, you know, it was always fun to me whenever all of us were in the same sketch, which is very rarely. I seem to remember a couple of Hollywood Squares sketches that a lot of us were in, and Pretty White Kids with Problems was one. It was always fun. It would always be like 1 in the morning, and we would get the giggle gas. And Nicole, you wrote the sketch about all the extras going to extra school, which was one of my favorite things because everyone was in it and we were all being jerks the entire time. And that's the show.
Thanks, Will. Alex, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Can you tell us, give us a little backstory about your memorable character, Mrs. Swan?
It's Ms. She's never married.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you.
Miss Swan is a ripoff. She's based on my grandmother, God rest her soul. That's not a joke. I ripped it off completely.
Your grandmother's not Asian.
We played around with her look, and we played around the two writers, Terry Sweeney and Lanier Laney. I got those right? That's right. We wrote the first one together, and she kind of hit the screen when she hit the screen. When I was doing, I think, one of my first Miss Swans, it was because Nicole wasn't available to do. You were doing some Christmas, it was some Christmas thing that you were going to do, and you weren't available, and they like plugged me in. So it was kind of a nice accident that I got that slot. Thank you.
I remember we were shooting G.I. Jackson, and you were pretending to sell people cars as Miss Swan out in the parking lot area. That's the first time I ever saw that. That's before you ever shot one, I think.
I was playing Janet Reno in that, wasn't I? That's weird.
Mo, tell us your favorite memory of MadtV. Your favorite memory.
Yeah, exactly. Man, that's a question that I get a lot regarding MadtV, and it's too hard to choose just one. It's just sort of this collective 6 years that I had there, where it was just, you know, laughing all the time. It's like nothing better than just being across the hall in dressing rooms from Will Sasso, who would come out and do Arnold Schwarzenegger just for me. You know, just stuff like that. It was just too amazing, you know, having my pants tear when I was doing Shakira, right? All the way from, you know, my entire crotch was opened up, and the editors got a good look. Yeah, it was just it's just a collective. There were too many. There's too many to choose just one.
Mo had her little boy. Your son was very small at the time.
Yeah.
I remember he used to kind of hang out in the dressing rooms with us.
I know, he was like the little MadtV mascot.
Even the first time he came in, I remember he had 2 toilet paper rolls duct taped to his pants as holsters.
He's 19 now and he still has those holsters.
I've seen them, they're impressive.
Yeah.
Andrew, did you have a favorite character or favorite sketch that you were a part of?
God. Well, okay, my favorite, I really did enjoy doing Keanu. That was a lot of fun. How's it all going? All right. I hope y'all went out to see John Wick this weekend. All right, good movie. You know, there was a skit that I did with Michael and Will called One True Impact, where Will was playing Steven Seagal and I was Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Michael was our dad. That we were 8.
I played all the old men.
All the old men. He was so good at it. And I remember, like, when it started off, me and Will had to be like face to face, like inches apart, and we couldn't keep a straight face. I mean, we're like laughing, it's like 8 takes in. And that started it, because when you start the laughing thing, pulling out of it is very difficult. And then I'm feeding you like applesauce, because he's my dying dad. And I feed the first time, and you do this. And I lost it, and the look in your eye when I did that, Michael had me. He was like, "Oh, I got you," and you just destroyed me that whole time. Like, I couldn't get through a tape.
Andrew,
without
laughing during sketches is highly unprofessional.
It's
I just
so
want to point that
unprofessional,
out.
and I that's me. I accept it with full
I'm
glory.
just kidding.
Thanks, Andrew. Nicole, you've been there since the beginning. Tell us about the pilot. When we were shooting that, what did you think? Did you think this thing had some legs? Did you have thoughts? Were you just on the train and going for the ride?
I had no idea what might or might not have legs. I was so brand new to like showbiz, and I didn't get it at all, and I didn't know what sketch. I didn't understand any of it. I was so lost and so terrified every second I was there, and I was trying to do an impersonation of like the AT&T girl or something, like this weird impression, and I was like, Phil, you imitate her, and then I'll imitate you imitating her, because I didn't know how to do it. It was all very confusing to me. But the pilot is where the Vancomb lady started. Because I remember when I auditioned, I was so lost. They said, bring in 5 of your characters. I was like, I don't have 5 characters. And they said, or 5 minutes of your best material. I was like, I don't have any material. So, my audition was horrible. I have no idea why I got cast. But I did the Vancomb lady, which was just the mean lady who I used to talk to at the makeup counter in Skokie, Illinois. And it turns out that horrible human being got me 6 years on a television show. So amen to her.
Thank you, Skokie. Phil, you were there at the beginning. Who did you sleep with?
I've been working in show business since the late 30s with Madtv. Sherwood Schwartz said, I've got an idea about people on an island. I said, that sounds great.
This is the Madtv panel.
The one I got residual stuff. Oh, okay. No, I remember the audition.
Did you sleep with Adam or Fax? Who did you?
I slept with Quincy.
What?
Yes, Quincy Jones was actually a producer on our show for the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, that's right.
And he showed up the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, Artie got to ride in the limo.
Nicole, do you remember a holiday party and what Quincy Jones told us? Are there children in the room? Something about women over 30?
Yeah, he mentioned that he had a jacuzzi, and if we were interested in that, and then he asked how old we were. We were in our 20s, and he said, that's good, because when a woman turns 30, the pussy goes sour.
The word was actually stank. You stank. I think you said sour.
You said sour. I remember stank.
Tomato. You get it. That's a true story and my favorite. Thank you. Good night. Sorry, Phil. Go ahead.
So anybody out there who thinks Quincy ain't keeping it real, he's keeping it real.
We're sorry.
That was on at 11.
Yeah, and this is also being broadcast around the world. Michael McDonald, let's hear from Michael. He's been waiting to see. Michael, how have you been, all right? How have you been?
I'm very well.
Oh, good. Can you do a little bit of Stewart for us? That's what we want to hear. When did you come on the show? What year? Do you remember?
I came in on season 4 with Mo and Andrew.
Cool. And what's your favorite character that you did throughout the rest of the run?
Stewart! I don't know. I mean, they're all our children, aren't they, kids?
That's right.
My favorites were like some of the ones that everybody else did. Like I loved Stephanie did Mrs. Campbell, the old lady who would go, "Ray, Ray." I love that. I love Mrs. Swan. I love Pat whenever he did something physical. Will whenever he would like, especially when you did Randy Newman. I love Randy Newman.
You are the love of my life.
Yeah, and Alex.
I love you too,
Will
Phil.
did Love of My Life. And anytime I could make Nicole or Mo laugh in a sketch, that was always fun.
Thank you. Stephanie, welcome. Stephanie, what year did you come to the show?
I believe it was 2001.
Season?
The 18th season. No, it was like season 5 or 6, I believe, yeah.
Any fun memories you want to share with us, like your favorite moment?
We were just. I was talking about one of my favorite scenes was it was about a nursing home because that's funny to make fun of old people. That's my wheelhouse. There was a scene where Michael was playing an elderly man who was my husband who kept forgetting where he was. And in the scene, Michael forgot where he was. And it was like life imitating art, art imitating life. It was a very scary moment for both of us. That was one of my all-time favorites. That and Glamazon Huntresses.
There's actually a booth over there.
Oh my gosh, it would have been perfect here. That was just so much fun. We were some really bad, dressed up in a lot of leather, forging through the tropical jungles and in bad high heels, and it was just a ton of fun. So yeah, I know, such a random.
Cool. Pat Kilbane down here at the end. Pat, welcome. You came on which season?
Season 3.
That is correct, sir. Continue.
I thought about coming in full coffee guy regalia and shit-faced.
You decided shit-faced only.
I went with just hammered.
Favorite character? Do you have a favorite character that you spent 9 hours in the makeup chair creating?
Gosh, yeah, the Spishak spokesman was one of my favorite things to do. Because I always loved Dan Aykroyd as the huckster on Saturday Night Live, and so selling stuff for Spishak was fun. Home circumcision for just $19.95.
Okay, wait, I have to tell this one story about Pat Kilbane.
Uh-oh.
Please tell the one.
He was new to the show, but he did an uncanny, and I think most of you already know this, he did a ridiculously uncanny Howard Stern. So the first time he was being introduced during Howard Stern as an opening to the show to introduce Halle Berry, when he came out, the audience went batshit because they actually thought it was Howard Stern. And they wouldn't shut up, and they wouldn't start screaming, and they wouldn't start yelling, stop yelling, Howard, Howard. So the producers had to stop the show to let people know that it wasn't really Howard Stern because they had lost their freaking minds.
I thought they were going to kill me. I got really concerned. It was a bait and switch that was not going to go well for me.
Pat, can you give us a little Howard really quick?
Well, it's not the best, but sure. It's good to be here. Thank you all for joining us. Make room for the midgets. Bring the midgets up front. They're in the back, they can't see right now. But I have a story I'd like to share too. This to me kind of encapsulates what the Madtv experience was. Up in the rehearsal hall, is upstairs at the soundstage, is where we would rehearse scenes. And either you're up there rehearsing or you're up there waiting to rehearse. And Mo was waiting to rehearse, and she was killing time by standing on her head against the wall and spreading her legs in the inverted twerk position. And then Deborah saw the opportunity to perform a simulated sex act that involved some kind of thrusting. And the reason this was so memorable to me is because David Grossman, the director, went over to them and said, guys, not right now. It's like we had a sexual harassment seminar at the beginning of the year. And if doing that, like inverted, simulated, strap-on lesbian, whatever, if that does not qualify as some kind of a problem, I don't know. I just love that the timing was the only thing wrong with that scene. Not right now.
Does anybody on the panel have a prank story or a behind-the-scenes story or a scandal that they'd like to share? Something none of us have ever heard before, maybe? It's time to reveal some truth.
Let's be nice to everybody. Let's play nice here.
We signed a waiver between each other that we would never do this and throw each other under the bus.
We're actually pretty boring as a group of people.
Well, there was one actually similar story to Pat Kilbane's, everyone thinking he was Howard Stern. When I came out, everyone thought I was Hervé Villachez. Do you remember that? No one? Google it. Get your phone out. Google it.
Mo. And I know Mo will probably tell this.
What?
The day her son Cullen saw me naked.
Oh yeah, let me start the story.
We all saw Deborah.
We did. We all saw Deborah. I'll say the first day I met Deborah, I knew what her vagina looked like. Into all aspects of it.
What the aspects are there?
There are several aspects to Deborah's vagina. Let me just say this. As it goes on, all of a sudden, I see Deborah go racing down the hall of the dressing rooms, buck naked, just flailing everything. I mean, everything was flailing. And my son was actually in Paul Vogt's room at the time, just playing games, and he saw Deborah. go flailing by with all of her nakedness. And Deborah went back a little bit later in the evening to apologize to my son, and she said to him, "It wasn't real." And my son just looked up at her and said, "I know, but why did you do it?"
I think that sort of sums up all of our experience on MadTV.
Yeah.
It wasn't real, but why did you do it?
Oh, I know.
Does anybody have a story about a celebrity that was a guest on the show? A celebrity that came on that was a total jerk or that bought you a Corvette?
I was there in the first 5 years when we didn't have any celebrities. we had Kato Kalin, Ike Turner.
Michael, remember how cool Susan Sarandon was?
Very cool.
Yes,
she was.
That was 2 months after I left.
Yeah. That was the difference. Thank you.
Yeah, I got to make out with Susan Sarandon. That was good.
You know, for a little show that could, going up against, and not really going up against Saturday Night Live, but still so many fans compared it, our celebrities weren't making a crap load of money doing our show, but they came on anyway, and Susan Sarandon did it, and Tim Robbins did it because he wanted to outdo her, and so what happened was Tim Robbins did it a number of times, and so did Susan Sarandon. So to get back at Tim Robbins, Susan Sarandon brought in Dennis Hopper, who actually did a Miss Swan sketch.
Everybody dies. That was his quote. Everybody dies. Yeah, that was awesome.
And then,
And then after that, Francis Ford Coppola directed the rest of the episodes for the remaining seasons, just to show those three out.
But I thought he just did all the wrestling stuff.
I'm sorry for all the wrestling stuff.
He's sorry. He's sorry.
Is it weird to anybody else that Will Sasso looks younger now than he did when he started?
Well, I just turned 27, okay? I'm a bit of a salty dog, let's be honest.
No, Will, you were like 19 when you started, right?
I was 8 years old when I started. I had a bit of a pituitary problem, coupled with a slight thyroid
You were like a 19-year-old, weren't you?
salt imbalance, and I sweat a lot, and I was fat. And I'm still fat. No, I was 22 when I started,
Okay.
as was Aries Spears.
I watched Will projectile vomit one night.
Yeah, sexy.
You already real or like fake?
Oh, for real.
That was a House of Blues, right?
Is that a segue?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
That was there.
For our adoring audience, any cast member can jump in on this. If you have a character, voice, or catchphrase that you want to entertain us with, grab a mic and go for it.
I have been doing this, and you don't know this, and maybe you do. I have been doing Miss Swan, because it's one of my favorite characters. Yeah, I'll tell you, okay. Yeah, I'll tell you, look like a man. Yeah, okay, I'll tell you.
I don't even agree here.
Will, do you want to get in on that?
I know, yeah, actually.
Kenny Rogers!
I'm Kenny Rogers!
Hello, the only thing I can do of yours right now that I can pull up, and this will go real well with the kids. Hello, I'm Bernard Shaw. Right, kids? CNN, everybody, right? Good stuff. Hey, how was Comikaze? Really good. That guy from, I think it was in Living Color, did an impersonation of Walt Whitzer. And everybody on the panel laughed.
Wait, Pat, do you remember your Craig Shoemaker? Oh. I actually met him the other day. And Craig Shoemaker was the white guy on the Magic Johnson show. Remember Magic Johnson had a talk show? You don't remember that Magic Johnson had a talk show? That's where Aries started doing his Magic Johnson?
We did the parody.
Hey, buddy! Woo! We're gonna have a good time. Nicole didn't watch any of the black sketches.
Actually, Magic Johnson ran into Aries somewhere. Did he tell you that story?
No.
And Magic Johnson came over to Aries and goes, "Young man, take it easy."
Actually, I have a question for everybody. On that, has anyone that anybody has impersonated ever gotten back to any of you guys? Negatively or positively?
Yeah, Rosie O'Donnell was not happy.
That's more of a chemical imbalance.
So random, but Caroline in the City, remember that show?
Yes.
Leah Thompson?
Yeah.
not happy with me. Yeah, we were like at a benefit together, and her daughter was like, I was 6 feet away from her. She said, that's what I was. She said, say something to her. She said, I'm not gonna say something to her now. I'm like, oh, all right. In all the years, it was such a random show. No one remembers it or the sketch, but it was the meanest I was ever on the show. I raked that woman across hot coals. I literally made her borderline retarded. She didn't understand what colors meant, or what her name was, and I saw her. I was like, nice to meet you.
Hey, Phil.
And Britney Spears saw me and didn't like me, and her bodyguard. That was cool. That was great.